welcome to the debut baseball podcast of the Deferrals with Matt Johnson and myself, Matt Higgins. You might be asking yourselves, why should we listen to another baseball podcast? And that's a great question, and here are our answers. First off, I'm rocking a pretty sweet Hawaiian shirt. 2, I started the Miguel Tejada bobblehead commercial when I worked for the Baltimore Orioles in 2005. Can any other podcaster say that? I say no. And 3, I'm a very rational and cool-headed Philadelphia Phillies fan. MJ?
Yeah, I'm Matt Johnson, and as for me, we just figured it'd be cool to have two Matts on a podcast, so they found me on the street, and here I am.
Luckily, it wasn't in the gutter. Luckily, it was just on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I wasn't hanging out with the White Sox and the Marlins, so.
Oh, man, you're already throwing teams under the bus, and we're only 1:30 into this recording. Way to go. Well, we lost their fan bases.
Yeah, the ownership did that first.
All right. And our first discussion topic for today, what will the Blue Jays do with Vladimir Guerrero Jr.?
Yeah, and Vlad Jr., he had his contract extension deadline coming up. It was kind of things but we've seen with other stars where they set a deadline. It's either, listen, have a deal for me ready now. Otherwise, I'm done. We're not going to negotiate at all during the year. In Vlad's case, it was Monday the 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Deal didn't come. Not only did it not come, the two sides were far, far, far apart on the deal. That was that. He's focused on baseball. Another thing he's made clear, he is going to take pretty much the biggest contract offer he gets in free agency this year. All 30 teams, whichever makes the biggest offer. It's going to be interesting. And who do you think is going to end up with Vlad Jr. if this is his final season in Toronto?
Who I would love to see him land with is the Philadelphia Phillies, but that's not going to be happening. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes. There's always been a lot of hype around the Boston Red Sox, it seems like. And I feel like with them losing out on Juan Soto, with the way they gave up Mookie Betts for nothing, they need a face of a franchise again, and that could be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. For me, I feel like on the Toronto Blue Jays side, they're like that DJ Khaled meme of congratulations, you played yourselves. They should have tried to get a contract extension done with him season and a half, 2 years ago. And when he rejected that, they should have been like, okay, we're open to offers on Vlad. And they could have gotten top prospects and rebuilt their farm system and have major league ready prospects the way the Washington Nationals did with Juan Soto. Because one of the kids he got back in James Wood, I think he's going to be an all-star for many years to come. And the Blue Jays could have gotten something like that for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And now they're stuck. Yeah. They're gonna, honestly, if they're not going to be in contention again this season. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette are just gonna, their futures are just gonna hover over the Blue Jays for the first half of the season, and they're they shot themselves in the foot. They're losing two faces of the franchises for basically nothing at this point. Both are going to be gone at the end of the year. Vladimir Guerrero already rejected the extension with the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays seemingly have not even tried to figure out an extension with Bo Bichette, and now they're in both in the last years of team control, and they're going to get pennies on the dollar for them come the trade deadline.
Yeah. And with the Blue Jays, this goes back for me because you remember, you go back when Shohei Ohtani was a free agent, that report came out, everyone got excited. Is Ohtani going to Toronto? Turned out that was someone else's plane. He was never going to Canada. I
wish Ohtani tweeted out that day, just being like, after that tweet came out, just like him on the couch, like watching TV, be like, nope, I'm here.
Wonder what the live betting odds were. Kidding. But yeah, the other things that haven't worked out for Blue Jays really is the Jose Barrios trade, he hasn't been the guy they were hoping for. Kevin Gossman, he hasn't really lived up to the contract since leaving the San Francisco Giants. And yeah, you mentioned other missed opportunities. Like once they knew that, okay, negotiations with Vlad aren't going super well, and something tells me, especially with the second half he had, which really his turnaround started in June, that negotiations they never seemed to be on the same page. And they had an opportunity there to trade him, as you mentioned. You trade him in July. Another team's getting him for a season and a half. That's where you see the premium paid on these guys. They didn't do it. In fact, they made it clear we are not trading him. You go to Bo Bichette. His value obviously tanked a bit last year because he just had down numbers across the board. His defense has been an issue.
Yep. Only played 81 games last season, I believe.
Yeah. It's missed windows, it's missed opportunities, and now they find themselves in a situation where they'll be fairly competitive this year, but like come July, it's okay, so we have a shot at the wild card race, but we're probably going to be a first-round knockout. Vlad's going to leave, Bo's going to leave. We kind of have to do something here, so I'm going to trade them for pennies on the dollar. And yeah, you mentioned once he becomes a free agent, the Boston Red Sox, what you see is a team who is strategically lining itself up. The Alex Bregman deal has opt-outs, which he might get out of because he's in a good situation. He probably replicated numbers last year. If you look at what he did in the second half with the Astros, he was much better than he was in the first half, closer to his career norms. Obviously, just coming off a Gold Glove season, he can probably get another lucrative contract. Another player the Red Sox have been connected to, a Dylan Cease trade. That would be a one-year deal. Garrett Crochet is on a close to minimum deal. They have all these things that are lined up perfectly to add Vlad's contract. And again, there's been the reports he's told people close to him he loves the idea of playing for the Red Sox. So he really seems like a guy who, in 2026, we will be seeing him starring in Fenway Park.
And speaking of the Red Sox, they have a little bit of a headache on their hands right now with the whole Rafael Devers, I do not want to move off third base situation. For those not in the know or living in the cave right now, as you said, Alex Bregman signed a 3-year contract with the Boston Red Sox. High annual average of $40 million a year with 2 opt-outs after years 1 and year 2. But Rafael Devers, who's entrenched at third base and signed a 10-year, $331.5 million contract, I believe, says he does not want to move off third base and emphatically told every media reporter there that he is not going to move off the position. When the comments were relayed to Red Sox manager Alex Cora, Cora said, well, he signed that contract 2 seasons ago. We have a different front office regime that was under Chaim Bloom before. Now we're under Craig Breslow. We're pretty much going to do what's best for the team. So obviously what's best for the team is Bregman playing third base. As you said, he was a Gold Glover last year. And some Rafael Devers stats. He has led the American League or MLB in errors 7 times in his career, including 12 last year, which led the American League. Over his 8 seasons, he has 141 errors at third base, averaging around 18 errors per season. As much as you love his bat,
yeah,
that is not good defense at the hot corner. So obviously what makes it much better, Bregman at third. You have the pretty hyped up prospect Christian Campbell coming in to play second base. And you move Devers to designated hitter. So, Matt, what do you do with Devers?
Yeah, I mean, listen, one thing our audience will find out is I'm pretty player friendly. You know, I try to understand their approach to things, but the bottom line is this. The Boston Red Sox first, as you mentioned, they have to do what's best for the team. And the difference between Alex Bregman and Rafael Devers at third base isn't a small gap. It's not a medium gap. It is a significant gap. If you go to Baseball Savant StatCast, it is a massive differential. Bregman, 81st percentile for fielding run value. Outs above average, 91st percentile. Rafael Devers, 18th percentile fielding run value, which, if you're tracking at home, 81st, 18th, that's a sizable gap, Bob. Range 8th percentile. So we are talking about one of the worst defensive third basemen in the game. You mentioned he is just a league leaders in errors pretty much every year. So yeah, and it's for the Red Sox. It's kind of simple. You have a guy who's going to be making 27 million per season this year, next. After that, from 2027 to 2033, he's making 28.5 million. And shout out to our podcast name, the Deferrals, another 7.5 million annually deferred 2034 to 2043. He's got his money. This isn't a situation where he has to worry about his next contract. Isn't a situation where he has to worry about, what's he going to do when he's 34, or he is set for the next decade plus. And if he moves to designated hitter, it's going to keep him healthier. It's going to keep him in the lineup. It's going to maximize the Red Sox lineup, which means that higher ticket sales, more attention. All that money helps the team competing for championships. It's kind of a simple thing. Devers has to play designated hitter, and if the team's able to play Vlad, hey, Vladito has a Gold Glove. He can play a little bit of first base, so you've got that covered. And yeah, as player friendly as I try to be, Devers, I understand he's a fan favorite. I understand he takes pride in being a third baseman. But my friend, you are one of the worst infielders defensively in baseball. This team has got to do what's best for the franchise, and that means you just get to focus on hitting. You don't have to worry about playing the field for a long, long time.
Could you see this situation getting untenable? And if Devers makes too big of a stink in it, could the Red Sox even trade this contract?
I would say I think they can, just because if you look at what some of these guys are going for now, like obviously you guys would rather have Vladito, but he's going to get a contract where the early ballpark figures are $500 million total. Yeah. He's going to be pushing probably 40 plus million per season. If you look, Bregman's AAV is over 40. So, given what Devers is making, it's obviously going to be 28.5 million annually for the next few years. And even if you include the deferred money, that's still a bargain compared to what everyone else is getting. However, if you're Boston, why should you feel obligated to move him? You have him under contract. He's going to be one of the higher paid designated hitters. And any other team is probably going to tell him down the line, hey, you have to move to the DH too. So baseball is a game where unless you have a short-term contract or you hit free agency, the clubs have the power. This isn't the NBA where, superstars get to decide what happens. Rafael Devers, you're kind of stuck in Boston.
Yep. And who's not stuck in Boston is Mookie Betts with the Dodgers. Just winning World Series, living his life, living the dream, is now on a dynasty.
There goes our Red Sox audience. We just made this a very painful day for them.
Yeah, sorry, Boston. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry, but
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just, but it's, hey, new season, we at least get to see what, these guys looks like. There's a lot of excitement for Bregman. He just had a home run in the spring training game. Yep. And also what we're seeing in spring training, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to look at it, is new automatic ball strike system and the challenge system they have with that. What have been your thoughts on that?
Well, first off, after living through the eras of Eric Gregg, Joe West, and Angel Hernandez, I personally love it. I think every ball and strike should be called by a robot. I want everything correct. I don't want 6 inches off the plate being called strikes anymore. Nothing of that nature. But I also do like where they're coming from on the baseball player side, putting it in their hands, being able to, all right, we're going to challenge this call and hopefully it will go our way. It takes 5 seconds for it to review. It's not going to add, baseball's already cut back its time by a half hour now with the pitch clock in existence. It's not going to add any more time onto the 2.5 hour baseball games are right now. This is very long overdue. It's very well needed. because let's face it, there's going to be a massive call that's going to cause, there's going to be a massive ball strike call that's going to cause a team a playoff spot or might even cause a team a World Series one of these days. So this is very, very much needed. What I wish they would do, though, I don't like how it's you only get 2 challenges per game. I honestly think it should be like 2 challenges per batter. I think every batter should have 2 challenges, and none of this 2 challenges per game.
Yeah, and it is an interesting system, and I think, like, again, importantly, if our audience isn't familiar, this is going to be just a spring training thing. This is not being implemented during the regular season, so you don't have to worry about like this new thing being extraction or anything. But this is a test run. A majority of the MLB teams are going through it right now. They're having it at a few ballparks in both Arizona and Florida. You mentioned the 2 challenge per game system, where if you're a player and you want to challenge it, or you're a player or a catcher, catcher, pitcher, or hitter, you just get a tap on your head, and that's the signal. And it's going to be interesting. We've seen like some clubs be like, "Hey, whoever wants to test it out, feel free." But also, there's been some that's like, "Hey, veterans, don't be doing this right now. This is going to be give this to the prospects."
The Dodgers did that with Max Muncy. They were like, "No, Max, you cannot do this," and he ended up doing one, and it was still the ball.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was still a strike.
Yeah, Max Muncy just going to do his Max Muncy thing. But I will say one thing that is also worth noting per Major League Baseball, because this is done in the minor leagues, AAA level. So they've been testing it out for a while. And per Major League Baseball, there are about 4 challenges per game last year, and about half of those are overturned. So it's not like the system is perfect. There are flaws.
Yeah.
But it's a quick thing where we are able to have the human elements in some ways where, listen, the umpire is still back there for other things, but the strike zone itself is, hey, this electron strike zone is a ball or strike. If you want to challenge it quickly, great. It's a fast, smooth process, and it's not going to disrupt the flow of the game too much. You're going to have less arguing down the line. There's still going to be some arguing, but it's going to be a nice, faster pace. Again, cut down a little bit of time. Now, the interesting thing I want to know what you think about is we've seen pitch framing become increasingly valuable, something that teams are really prioritizing for catchers. With this electronic strike zone, do we see catchers become more of a offense friendly, like we just want to get the best hitter back there possible?
I don't think we're going to go like full Mike Piazza on catching in the future, especially if they're only going to be doing this the challenges twice a game, because you're still going to need pitch framing. Catchers are still going to need to frame pitches, and they're going to want to be able to frame pitches in a way where hitters are not going to challenge maybe a ball that's an inch or 2 off the plate, but with the way they bring it back quickly, the batter might not notice it, and the umpire still calls it a strike. And also, if that's happening early in the beginning of the game, you're more likely going to want to save these challenges, I'm assuming, for the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, unless they're just like totally egregious, like Angel Hernandez did with Wyatt Langford the other year, when each ball was more off the plate than it initially was. So I think pitch framing is still going to be very important. I don't think, like I said, we're not going to go like full offensive catcher anytime soon. The only way that will happen is if it's just automatic balls and strikes full time. But another thing we would have to think about is that if that's the case, if it does go full time automatic balls and strikes, and if teams are going to prioritize offense at the catcher position, does that mean more teams will start stealing bases now? Because if you're going to have a more offensive friendly catcher behind the plate, he might not have the arm to gun down runners. So does that mean more teams will start stealing bases now?
Well, and that's an interesting domino effect, because if you look at the rule changes that Manfred has been pushing in recent years, making bases bigger, limiting the amount of pickoff moves, It seems like Major League Baseball wants more stolen bases. Obviously, it's something that fans find exciting. We all know World Series, steal a base, win a taco.
Yep.
So maybe that's another domino effect that comes if we get a full-time automated ball strike system. If you get more offense-friendly catchers who maybe aren't as great, with the quick release pop times, maybe that's another step towards higher stolen base totals. Because again, we're never going to see anyone get near Ricky Henderson's numbers, but
Ever
we
again.
have started to see that 70 stolen base threshold in the season start reached, which it's been over a decade since that's happened. So maybe we start to see more 50s, 60s, and the occasional 70, which would be interesting for the game. Another thing you mentioned, this is something that MLB has documented, is yes, what they found in the minor leagues is that the challenge system, typically the only time you're going to see that is when it's 7th, 8th, 9th inning, rarely used in the first 6 innings.
Yeah. So, but I can see, with the way my Philadelphia Phillies swing the bat, and with the way some of them can get very frustrated at the plate, if they could use it earlier on in the games and not have it anymore for the later on. Like I can see like Bryce Harper just shaking his head no at a ball at a called strike that he thinks is a ball, and then it's still a strike. And you're just like, darn it.
I think the Phillies are going to save that for October.
It's too early to talk about this, man. That's not. So just for everybody's sake, I am a diehard Philadelphia Phillies fan. I also am a Sunday ticket plan holder. And on top of that, I got another 6-game plan. So I'm going to 20 Phillies home games this year. Just a quarter of their home games. That's normal, right? That's a normal thing to do. Please tell me it's okay.
It's okay. This is a safe space. It's like one of the old meme about, the candle budget. It's not the candles. It's not the Phillies game. That's the budget problem. You're fine.
Exactly.
As for me, I grew up being from California. Thankfully, I'm not an A's fan. That would have been a terrible existence, and I've already gone through enough pain as a Sacramento Kings fan. But I grew up a San Francisco Giants fan where, so many vivid memories sitting in front of the TV, watching 756, watching Bonds break the home run record. And listen, if it were up to me, that man belongs in the Hall of Fame, but that can be a topic for another day. Because
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, listen, we need to get tangent. We need to put the people that define baseball's history into this place where baseball's story is told, and that's what Bonds is. Yeah, grew up San Francisco Giants fan, got to enjoy that time when they won, not one, not two.
We don't need to talk about 2010. Okay, we don't need to.
Seriously. And I believe a common theme along that path to winning a championship resided in Philadelphia.
One of those years. All right.
Yeah.
2010 hurts, man. 2010 hurts. The Uribe home run. Oh, the Howard striking out looking. That's just not fun. Not fun.
I feel like just that cat with the evil grin that's just eating all of this up, just so enjoying it. But yeah, so those are our baseball team histories, and you can also look forward to the fact of there will be some ribbing every now and then because it's fun, and every podcast needs that.
Yes, and plus we don't have an HR department, so nobody can, turn us into anybody.
Yeah. But if you want to turn Higgins in, feel free. Because
just call 911.
There you go.
Yeah, have the SWAT team show up at the door.
Actually, that would make a great podcast episode.
That would be, yeah. Let's make that happen. What's it called? Swatting? Is that what the kids do nowadays? The swatting?
Also, the fact that we're saying is that what the kids do these days shows our age, so that's fun.
Yeah, I'm not old.
No.
And one more fun thing we are going to do at the end of each podcast that I've talked with my dear friend Matt about is doing one of those Immaculate Grids.
Yes.
and seeing how fast and how terribly we do it.
And just the important thing for people to know is, as much fun I will have messing with Higgins, he is going to make me look like a fool on Immaculate Grid. I can guarantee I won't make many guarantees this season, but I can guarantee that.
All right. And here, I should probably put like a timer on this. Can you see this, Matt?
I see the red timer.
Can you see the grid?
I do not see the grid now.
You did not see the grid?
No,
I am sharing it, Matt. Oh, you know why, Matt?
I do not know why, Matt.
I forgot to add it to the stage, Matt.
Well,
There we go.
there we go.
Little delay there.
Yeah. Again,
All right, so
this is our spring training too.
This is definitely our spring training. Yeah, yeah. We definitely both went 0 for 4 today.
Yeah.
With
You know what? Hey,
with
the
some
good thing
strikeouts
is
looking.
you get to see the mistakes, and we don't have to overreact to spring training performances. The guys who lead the spring training in home runs, they're most often in the minor leagues by the end of the season.
That's very true. All right, I'm going to start this sucker right now. All right, Matt. Texas KC, who we got here?
Ooh, I'll let you lead off with that one.
Damn it. Let's go KC 300 batting average. Should we do Bobby Witt? But everybody's going to have Bobby Witt. Everybody's going to have Bobby Witt. We're going to have a terrible rarity score. Let's do Alex Gordon. There we go. 4%.
There we go. See, we got a little bit here where we can pull it off.
All right. Cleveland, KC. Oh. That's probably going to be too much. Yeah. Oh, damn it. We're already at 34%. Matt, are you going to help out, Matt, or am I doing this all? Come on now. All right, I'm going to do Jose
Adolis Garcia.
What's that?
Who'd you choose?
I was going to choose Canseco.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, 1%. All right, Cleveland and 30 home run season. Your turn.
Well, my friend, you put me a little bit on the spot. Okay. Let's go with a little Lindor.
All right, 3%. All right, now we have a 300 average and 30 home run season. Oh, Mike Trout.
Wow, you're taking the easy ones. All right.
Or you know what we can do? Boom, Willie Mays, 3%.
All right.
All right, now we need Brewers 300 average. Lorenzo Cain?
Yeah, Lorenzo Cain. There's... Yeah.
2%. All right.
Wow, Lorenzo Cain. Well, I guess you know what? He spent most of his career with the Royals, so that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Now we need Cleveland Brewers. I mean, CC, but do we want to do CC?
We want to knock out these squares as much as we can.
All right. So are we doing Sabathia?
Yes.
Be damned our rarity score. Oh God, this is terrible. MJ. All right. Now we need Rangers Brewers. We're over 2 minutes and 30 seconds, Matt.
Oh man. Let's pivot to Rangers Royals.
Rangers Royals? Okay. Is Gabe Kapler Rangers Royals?
I think.
Was he?
No. Let's see.
You look like idiots right now.
Well, listen, we've said that's going to be a theme of this show. It's just looking like fools, and
Yeah.
but let's go. Let's just make it simple and go Aroldis Chapman.
All right, 30. Oh, good Lord. All right, we got one left, bud. One left.
One left. This is
Rangers Brewers. Rangers Brewers. Oh, man.
Oh, Fielder.
Ah. That's going to be like 100.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, my.
Well, we were
As I
perfect.
said,
We were
this is
immaculate
spring training.
people, but we were rarely score of 172. Oh, man.
What was the average score this today for people? Did we at least beat? There we go.
Average score is 6.2. Yeah, we got 4 of the most popular ones. Oh, boy.
Well, listen, we did better than the average. That's what matters.
Whatever. I still feel like I failed.
Well, I set my expectations low. That should listen. Just
I should stop it.
This is October. We're the Phillies. This is October. We're disappointing. It's fine.
I'm going to throw you through your closet right now. And on that note, people, that is the end of the debut podcast of the Deferrals. We hope you loved it. We hope you liked it. We hope you'll come back for more. And as the kids say, if you enjoyed this content and video, smash those like, subscribe, and notification buttons. Do you have anything else to add, MJ?
I don't. Just please give us another chance on Immaculate Grid. Just please come back for one more episode so we can at least do better. Please.
Yes.
That's all I ask.
Next week we will have, hopefully, a special guest. So tune in next time, people, to the Deferrals.